Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the weekly vlog. Turning off last week's vlog and immediately starting this one. So trying to get my updates out on time for this vlog because this is going to be a shorter vlog than usual. This is going to end on like Saturday morning because very early on Sunday morning I'm leaving for the airport. My friend and I are going on a little trip to Halifax. Hi, Tony. Tony wants to say hi. Yeah, my friend and I are going on just a few day trip to Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's going to be my very first time on the East Coast and I'm so excited. I can't wait to go. The trip is for their birthday and it's going to be a blast. But I do need to have this video fully edited by Saturday to be scheduled to upload for Tuesday because I'm not going to be home until Wednesday. So this vlog is ending a little bit early. Not that it matters, but just so you know. Anyways, my current reads. I have two current reads right now. I just have the Dust Jacket, but I'm reading The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean, which is for a different vlog, but just to at least mention that I am reading it. I think I'm around page 90, give or take, but I'll save my thoughts on it for the vlog that it's for. And then my other one, I've just started over audiobook. It's Drinks and Sinkholes by Usher Evans, which is being read for the Cozy Quill Book Club. I am 20% of the way through and having an okay time. Not really enjoying it, but it's not bad. It's just kind of background noise, to be honest, while I was doing some cleaning. This one is a cozy fantasy about a woman who runs an inn, and then a whole bunch of earthquakes and sinkholes start popping up all over the town, and she ends up being in charge of figuring out what's going on and how to solve it. It's fine. The writing is okay. The characters are fine. I do like the setting. I think that's pretty cool, but otherwise it's just kind of meh. So I'll carry on anyway, just because it's really short and I might as well. And maybe I'll end up really enjoying it later on in the book. That would be lovely, but I don't really count on it. So I do have my next couple of reads planned for this week. I just got my audiobook hold in for a couple things. So Many Stars by Caro de Robertis, which is a nonfiction on queer history. My audiobook hold for Take Me to Your Leader by Degrasse Tyson just came in as well, which is also a nonfiction, but about aliens and space travel and first contact stuff. I have out the ebook for The Blue Road by Wayde, Compton, which is a middle grade graphic novel, and possibly waiting for my friend to confirm if they want to start our buddy read this week or not. But if we do, that'll be The Undetectables by Courtney Smith. So those are the options for this week. There'll probably be something else thrown in there if I finish The Book Eaters, and I'll most likely pick up an ebook as well at some point this week, but I have no idea what. So once I figure it out, I'll let you know. Hello, how you doing? It's Wednesday. I got a haircut today. Feeling fresh. I don't like it that much, I'm not gonna lie. It looks fine. It's just not quite what I asked for. It's super short. I think up here looks fine, which is the part that most people see anyway, so that's fine. But like, if you look up close, like the upper part of the fade doesn't look amazing. It sticks out in a weird way. And then she did the back way too short. I basically don't have a mullet anymore, and I'm sad about it, but it's fine. It'll grow back. I do think that I'm going to start doing my own hair again, though. I used to cut my own hair for like 7 years, and I've liked my own haircuts way better than the vast majority of professional haircuts that I've gotten. So I think I'm just going to go back to doing that, at least for the most part. But it is what it is. I wanted to feel nice and fresh for my trip this week, so it's done at least. I don't have to worry about it, and it's not horrendous. It's not the haircut from last year where I had a full-on crash out, so at least there's that. Anyways, before I get into the many things that I've been reading, the last book from the book outlet order that I placed arrived a couple days ago, and I wanted to share with you. So the last thing of the haul was I Feed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me by Jameson Shea. I read this one a couple years ago, and I still think about it all the time. This is hands down one of my favorite horror books of all time, and I've wanted to have this book on my shelf for quite a while. I'm definitely going to reread this one at some point. It was excellent. The sequel was less good. I don't feel a need to own that one, but I really wanted to have this one and I highly recommend it. The sequel was still good. It just wasn't this book. So, but yeah, that was the last of the book haul from last week. In terms of what I'm reading and have been reading, I have finished 2 things since last we spoke, and I'm in the middle of 3, 2, I don't even know. So with the book eaters, I'm going to save my thoughts for the vlog that it's for. But just to mention, I am on page 133 right now, so I've made some decent progress in there. This is a pretty slow read for me for some reason. I've only been reading like maybe 10 to 20 pages per day, but that is all right. I'm also currently reading Take Me to Your Leader by Degrasse Tyson, which is a speculative nonfiction on Neil deGrasse Tyson's advice for surviving your first alien encounter. And it is hilarious. He's very funny. I like his voice. The audiobook is narrated by him as well. It just kind of feels like chatting with a friend, basically, and just having a good time. So I'm quite enjoying this one, and I can't wait to continue it. It's very short, so I'll probably finish it up tomorrow. And then for things that I've finished in the last couple of days, I listened to the audiobook for Drinks and Sinkholes by Usher Evans, which is the first book in a cozy fantasy series about an innkeeper in this quiet little town, but a whole bunch of sinkholes and earthquakes are destroying the town, and for some reason she is put in charge of figuring out what's going on. I gave this one a 3-star. It was fun, it was cozy, it was a nice time overall. It just wasn't incredible. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with the series. I did put book 2 on my TBR as like a tentative. I might get around to it at some point, but it's like a 9-book series, I think, and I don't like it enough to want to read all of that, I don't think. But maybe at least book 2, we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, this was fine. I think my main issue was that it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. This innkeeper is not in any way, shape, or form a leader of this town, but for some reason she is told by her neighbors and the whole town that she has to be the one to figure out how to stop earthquakes, which, first of all, how do you stop an earthquake from happening? You can't. And when it's taking her a long time to figure out what's going on, people are like getting mad at her. They're blaming her for all their stuff being destroyed. And it just didn't make any sense in that way. It was very strange. And the characters, while fun, were also quite simple, and it just kind of lacked some depth. So a decent time, but not incredible. And I'm kind of talking myself out of wanting to read book 2. I think I'm probably going to take it off of my TBR. And then today at work, I ended up reading the ebook for The Blue Road by Wayde Compton and April de la Noche Milne, which is a middle grade graphic novel about this girl who has spent her whole life in this ink swamp. She has no memory of her parents, and she's barely ever met anybody else in her life. But one day she is forced by somebody else who lives in the forest to leave the swamp, and she has to go live among people for the first time. She ends up in this kingdom, and there's a whole bunch of rules for people who are not born there. The whole metaphor for immigration and the hardships that immigrants have to face. It was lovely. The art was beautiful. The story was very nice. I did find it to be quite simple, but again, it was a middle grade. So for me personally, it was a little bit too simple in that regard. And I feel like there wasn't quite enough of a plot to keep me engaged, but it was a pretty good time. So I'm giving it a 3.5 star. That was my backlist pick for the month. It had been on my TBR since 2021. So it's nice to get an oldie off the TBR at long last. I feel like there was something else that I'm currently reading or finished, but I think that's actually it. But I need to get to bed. I'm very tired. I've been trying to go to bed early the last few days. It's already close to 11, so it's not quite early anymore, but still earlier than I usually go to bed. So I'm gonna go do that. Tony needs to have his dinner. He's been yelling at me this entire update, and then I'm getting myself cozy in bed. So we will chat some point later on in the week. Okay, this is really stupid, but I'm laughing about it. I just filmed my May wrap up and I'm just editing it right now. And so when I film, I have this trick for the glasses, and just for other people who do content and wear glasses, there is a trick that you can do to keep the glare of your light out of your glasses. And if you take your glasses and you put them up on an angle like that, when you're facing forward, it looks perfectly normal. You can't even tell at all. Like if I have my glasses like this versus like that, you can barely even see a difference when you're just facing the camera normally. And when you have hair, you can't tell that it looks stupid up at the side like that. I just got a haircut and I got the fade refreshed, so I don't have hair there right now, and I'm editing this video and you can just see my glasses way up here and it looks so stupid. But hey, at least the light glare in my glasses is minimal, so it's whatever. It's just really funny. Good evening, how you doing? It's Friday night and I'm just going to wrap up this vlog here. I was planning on having this vlog go until like Saturday afternoon, but I'm just going to wrap it up here and have tomorrow be the start of the new vlog just to make things a bit easier for editing on my part. Anyways, not that it actually matters, I don't think anyone watching cares what day it ends. Hi Tony, do you have anything to say? I also don't have that many updates for you. I think just 2 actually. Yeah, so I finished listening to the audiobook for Take Me to Your Leader by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Had a wonderful time with this book. I don't give ratings to nonfiction just because I don't really know how to accurately rate them. I always feel really guilty giving nonfiction anything less than 5 stars, even if I don't actually feel like it was a 5-star. So now instead I just don't give them any ratings at all. But yeah, I had a great time with this book. I thought it was so funny. I really enjoyed the author's voice in this one, and especially the fact that the audiobook was read by him. It just felt like listening to a podcast or chatting with a friend, just getting into weird talks about aliens and sci-fi movies and all these cool things. So it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this one and I highly recommend it. I also really hope that somewhere online somebody has posted a list of every single sci-fi movie that Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about in this book, because I want to go and watch all of them. He talked about so many of the sci-fi movies and TV shows that started the genre from before I was even born, so I definitely want to check out some of those and see what he was talking about. But yeah, great time, and this book put me back into my sci-fi mood. So I've now picked up the audiobook for Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 3rd book in the Skyward series. I was kind of reluctant to pick up this book, and I was sort of considering DNFing the series, and it was the same thing for book 2 as well, where after I finished book 1 I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really feel any desire to pick up book 2. But then I read it and I loved book 2, but when it came time to pick up book 3 I just didn't really feel the need to. But now I'm reading it and I'm actually quite enjoying it, so that just seems to be how I feel about this series in general. I'm definitely liking book 2 a lot more than book 3 so far, but I am still having a good enough time to continue at least. I find this one to be good for the most part. I like the setting that we're in. I can't say anything about it because it would spoil the entirety of book 1, but the setting in this book is super cool. But in terms of the plot, I do feel like it's very predictable. I could be totally wrong, but I have a good feeling about where things are going to go in this book. And when I end up guessing the plotline of a book, I really hate that. So I hope I'm not correct, but I have a feeling that I probably am. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, overall, pretty good time so far. It's nice kind of background noise, and I'm looking forward to getting one step closer to meeting my goal this year to finish every single series that I started last year or earlier. I have a very long way to go and only about 6 months to do it, so wish me luck in that endeavor. But I think that is everything that I have to say right now. I'm pretty sure I talked about reading The Blue Road, the graphic novel. I'm like 95% sure that I have already talked about that, so I'm just going to assume that I did. So yeah, that should wrap up this vlog then. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate ya. I hope you also had a great week, and I'll catch you in the next video.